Barbie's announced 2 new additions to its growing line of diverse and inclusive dolls. In 2020, the company featured its first doll with vitiligo, which is a hyperpigmentation of your skin. You can lose pigmentation. So they brought out a doll with vitiligo, a doll with no hair, a doll with hearing aids, and a doll with a gold prosthetic limb. Well, now meet blind Barbie and black Barbie with Down syndrome. In a statement, Mattel said Barbie partnered with the American Foundation for the Blind and the National Down Syndrome Society to ensure dolls designed accurately reflected the community they're designed to represent. So blind Barbie comes with accessories such as a white and red cane with the identical marshmallow tip and designed with an eye gaze facing slightly up and out to accurately reflect the sometimes distant eye gaze of a blind individual, Kelly, as well as elbow articulation to ensure comfortable cane use. This is verbatim. I am reading it to you. It also comes in a braille box, so Barbie in the braille box, so easy to open. Blind people can't see a doll. This is my first comment on this. But does that mean they can't play with dolls? No. Okay. Last year, Mattel released the first ever doll with Down syndrome. This year, Barbie once again partnered with the National Down Syndrome Society to introduce a black Barbie with Down syndrome to the Barbie Fashionistas lineup. Again, they collaborated with the Down Syndrome Society to accurately represent physical characteristics. How, you may be saying or asking? Apparently, this doll has a shorter frame, a longer torso, and low muscle tone. This is the Barbie doll. The doll also has a braided hair texture, a key feature asked for by the Black Down syndrome community. Okay, right. I've given you all my facts, right? Professor of Marketing at Analytics at Massey University and a good friend of the show is Bodo Lang. Bodo, good afternoon.
Hi, Leah. How are you today?
I'm good. I don't know how to take this story, Bodo. I've got to be honest. I mean, are they really, is this a whole case of not really understanding your market, or is it virtue signaling? I mean, blind people can't see a doll. Have I missed the point here?
No, I think you haven't missed the point. I think it's brilliant marketing. You know, the Barbie brand is a for-profit brand, and so that's what their focus is. And in 2023, I think they sold Barbie dolls to the value of $1.5 US. So, you know, whatever they do is meant to increase sales, not decrease them. And I think this is a really good marketing move, you know. I don't think there'll be that much sales from these particular types of diversity and inclusion dolls, but I think what they do is they signal social responsibility, and I think that is just so important for companies these days. And so by doing that, they just remain relevant, basically.
Okay, so if their businesses, they're doing social responsibility here, do they have to be careful that does it come across as championing these diverse and inclusive roles or representing disabilities? Or does it just look like a revenue stream? I mean, you've just said that they made, 1.5 billion a couple of years ago. Is it just really, truly clipping the ticket?
I think, obviously they want to increase sales. I think Mattel would be ill-advised not to represent the, society that they're trying to appeal to. And I think at some point you've got to ask yourself too, how old is Barbie? Well, Barbie is eligible for a gold card. She turns 65 this year. So how do you keep a product relevant in today's market? How do you get people to talk about Barbie? And you do that by reflecting trends that are going on right now. And so, this is a great way to get people like you and me and just normal consumers to talk about the Barbie brand, because otherwise, how many lunchtime conversations will Barbie, really enlighten this week? Well, not many, but here is something to talk about.
Where could Mattel go too far, though, Bodo? I mean, what's next? Could they bring out Cancer Barbie?
They can absolutely go too far, I think. And at some point, you've got to ask yourself, too, what is the brand? Is the brand this this sort of 1950, 60 kind of style of one type of beauty, or is it this more modern, more inclusive interpretation of beauty? And that's clearly what they've gone for, because otherwise, to be frank, they would have been obsolete. So they really had to go down that corridor. I think they've got to be careful not to lose sight of what the main market, what the vast majority of doll players want, which is probably just a normal doll without, any particular trimmings. And I think, I think the indication, the signaling of having these inclusive dolls is excellent. It's great marketing for them, and it does help to, for young people, but also for parents to realize that, these types of people are part of society and they're valuable. But certainly, first and foremost, this is about revenue and keeping the brand relevant.
Because I would have thought, the strategy is, especially with toys or with dolls, do they believe that every little boy or girl wants to see a bit of themselves in the doll? Is that why they love them so much?
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's this thing in consumer behavior that we refer to, and it's your actual self and your ideal self. And you use some products to create that ideal self or move further towards it from your actual self. And, dolls are a great example. They might represent basically a female, of what you would like to be, but no, you will never be. But I think more importantly, they just, allow children to play and to learn through play. And I think dolls can play probably a surprisingly significant element here, because they do, if you have dolls that are diverse in your arsenal of dolls at home, they do represent then society. Not the entire world is white and blue-eyed and has this amazing body contortion, or body dimensions that the original Barbie doll had. And so I think it is useful for the Barbie brand to stay relevant and to have these kind of dolls. Yeah. No matter what they do, there will always be somebody who will criticize them and say, look, you're just clipping the ticket. And yes, maybe they are, but I think if they weren't doing this, they would have long been obsolete and, somebody else would have jumped in.
Well, that would have happened. Bodo, always a pleasure. Thank you for your time today. That is Bodo Lang, Professor of Marketing Analytics at Massey University. And you just heard Bodo say that. He went, if they hadn't have done it, someone would have done it. Yes, to a degree. And of course, it's clipping the ticket. She is now 65 years old. Barbie is 65 years old. So how do you stay relevant?